Ladies and gentlemen, after a long, long hiatus, the Open Tabs podcast is back. Joe Carlos, how you doing, sir?
I'm good, brother. Thank you for asking. How are you this evening?
Making it. I be your brother, Calvin Smith. We are the Open Tabs podcast. We're back.
We are.
A lot has transpired in the interim.
True.
A lot has changed. We are, this is June 18th, 2024.
It is.
The great Willie Mays has transitioned on.
He has. He has.
You want to say anything about that?
I just watched the HBO documentary about Say Hey. Actually, a few weeks ago. It was great. I'd never really seen any documentaries on Willie. I've been more of a Jackie guy. But after seeing Willie, after seeing that documentary on Willie Mays, I was just, very taken with him and his just amazing, larger than life personality, and just how important he's been to the game of baseball.
Absolutely, man. And he's like a through line for baseball. He really is.
Yeah.
He has a direct connection. He's the godfather to the heir apparent Barry Bonds.
Mm-hmm.
And played with his dad, Bobby. Was just incredible. My favorite Willie Mays memory actually is a movie related memory. It's from Bamboozled, when your boy Dinwiddie, whatever his name was, Michael Rappaport.
You tell me who that is. Yeah, tell me who that is.
Who's that? Who's 24?
Who's 24? Yeah, who's 24?
And that's Pierre Delacroix.
Pierre Delacroix. I didn't know. It's burned in my brain.
Yeah, man. And Spike found a way in all of his movies to feature Willie Mays somehow, some way. And so, it's a big loss, huge loss. It's that's life, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. On a brighter note, it's the homie Iman Spalding's birthday. At one point, when we had Breakfast Club on the menu, he was supposed to come in, and we put the kibosh on that for whatever reason. I guess we'll revisit it at some point. But shout out to my wartime consigliere, my Genco, Iman Spalding, on this 47th birthday of his. Congratulations.
Happy birthday, Iman.
Yeah. It's that season, man. It's Gemini season. It's almost coming to an end. Some people are happy about that, I'm sure. Some people, we are despised, Joe. You didn't know that? You didn't know that people didn't like Gemini?
I don't ascribe to any of the things.
Good. See, this is why
I'm not a part of the things. I don't know the things.
The things.
I don't know. I mean, I obviously I'm aware of astrological signs, and
sure.
I'm aware that there is some validity to traits and
sure.
Different things of that nature. But I'm just I'm not. I don't know enough about it to speak in any way.
I got you.
With any level of authority.
I got you. I was gonna get all Sam Jack on you, but you are aware
that they exist. Yes, I am aware that they exist. Yes. I don't watch television.
That's good.
I don't watch television.
Oh, Vincent Vega, man.
Vincent Vega.
He couldn't be bothered for anything.
Mrs. Mia Wallace. Yes.
Indeed, man. But we are here for a purpose, man. Hey, look, it feels good to be back. I can't lie.
No, I'm not asking you to.
I procrastinated on I was gonna put out the little Stringer Bell meme, put the word out on the streets. We back up. Didn't do it, but I'm excited, man.
Good.
And I'm excited about the film that has been chosen, that we have chosen to discuss tonight.
Me too.
It hits at just the right time. There's a lot of things to say about our film. It's a nice little 83-minute joint. You can sit down.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, man. This is the sweet spot for movies, man. You can sit down 83 minutes, and before you know it, this movie's over. But you want to see it again. You know what I mean? You want to run it back. You want to run it back and see what you missed.
Right.
We are talking about tonight, November 8th, 1991, was the release of a film by Kevin Hooks, the great Kevin Hooks, son of Robert Hooks.
Yeah.
We are
Legendary acting family.
Legendary Black Hollywood family.
Yeah.
Know your
Absolutely.
history, as Joe would say. Know your history.
The great Robert Hooks of Vegas.
Yeah. Indeed.
And Passenger 57.
and
others.
And a different world. As,
yes,
Puppy.
he was.
Puppy.
He was Puppy. Puppy? How is she Southern but from Brooklyn? I'll never understand how Felicia Rashad was Southern, but clearly Southern, but supposedly from Brooklyn. Which
she was all
doesn't mean you can't be Southern from Brooklyn, because there are definitely Southern people living in Brooklyn, but
sure,
born and raised in New York. But
yeah,
did they know each other in college, or did they know each other in high school? That was very murky.
Yeah, that's the word is very murky.
Definitely a plot issue there from the Huxtabillion
universe.
Universe. Yes.
A lot of continuity issues there on that show.
Several continuity.
Yeah. I was watching because I watch the Cosby Show. You say what you will. I still watch the Cosby Show to this day. Watching yesterday, and every now and again on the opening shot, they pan into their brownstone, their beautiful brownstone in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And they have the placard for his office, which is located downstairs, and it says Clifford Huxtable.
Not Cliff. Not
Cliff. Not Heathcliff. But on this
Clifford.
Episode, this is
Clifford.
This is episode season 9, episode 1.
Jeez.
Dabness Bricky is introduced.
Oh yeah.
And she calls him Heath Clifford for probably the first and last time on the show.
Okay.
So
they dealt with it.
I think that was their way of dealing with it.
That's at least they addressed it.
Yeah, in their own way.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I digress. 1991, a great year. November 8th, this movie Strictly Business that we're going to discuss. Strictly Business was released in 1991, unleashing upon an unsuspecting public a lot of things. What were your memories of this movie when it came out, Joe? What do you recall?
Okay, so I honestly, November 91, I was on the football team at the Lake Hill Preparatory School until the end of the first 6 weeks. And I don't really remember the class. It was probably math, a math class, or physics, or maybe I can't remember the class. But for whatever reason, my father took me off the team. My father and mother took me off the team. And but the football season was still going on, and our teams were very good, and so they play deep into the Texas Association of Private and Parochial School playoffs. And our big rival was a school called Lexington. And I had to look back, because I remember we played Lexington Academy on Friday. And I believe if November 8th is a Friday, then we played them on Friday, November 8th. So I know where I was. I was at Lexington, and it was frigidly cold. And what I recall, if I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to see, when did Magic make his announcement about HIV?
It had to be.
It was November, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Of 91. Yeah. And it was November 7th. Yes.
The day before.
Okay. That was just, bruh. I just pulled that one. I pulled that one out.
That's what you do. That's what you do.
I was checking that one. Okay.
That's what you do.
So I knew it was in the same time frame, because I'm literally recalling.
Okay.
So I think that was a Thursday. I think that was November 7th. No, maybe it wasn't the 7th. Oh yeah, it was November 7th.
You cooking with gas? You tell me.
I think it was let me just look this up.
November it was 7th. November 7th. It was.
But I know it was November 7th, but I'm trying to see, was it a Thursday? Because we had basketball practice.
Okay.
And for those who weren't playing football, and it was a Thursday. Wow, man, I'm on it. Okay,
Yeah.
so that happens. We have basketball practice for the guy. Lake Hill was a small school, so for the guys that aren't playing football but play basketball, we have practice. We come into practice, and coach is crying, and he's just like, "We're canceling practice."
Mm.
And I was like, "Well, why we can't?" He said, "Well, you just need to go home. Just go home." And I think it was like something in my house. He wouldn't tell us what it was.
Mm.
So you turn the radio on, it's everywhere, And I drive home and I'm crying. Magic's my favorite player.
Yeah.
And he's on my Mount Rushmore at the time and still is. And Magic is my favorite player. Like, no, hands down, no question. I'm a Magic Johnson, Zeke, Charles Barkley, Mark McGwire guy. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
those are my four, right?
Especially that last one.
It's number 24. So for the Mavericks, 23 for Detroit. But
Of course he was.
yeah, so that's the 7th. So then the 8th, we have the game.
Okay.
And people are all up in the air. People don't know what to do. I mean, it's a weird thing because it's like you can't put a face on HIV yet. And this is a face, and this is a hero, right?
Yeah.
And so we play the game, we lose the game, whatever. And I vividly recall that Sunday, I had a Jack and Jill meeting.
Okay.
At a guy named Nathan Johnson's house, which was about 15 minutes away from my house in North Dallas. And I had on, I'll never forget, I had on a Malcolm X t-shirt.
Mm.
I had a Tommy Hilfiger jean jacket that also had like padded different colored panels. It was Hilfiger. It was like, and no one had it at the Jack and Jill thing. No one had that jacket. Then I had a Laker cap on. And my mother, I was walking out the door to drive to Nathan's house. And my mother says, you have one too many causes on. Okay. So let's slow down one of these causes, So either take off the Malcolm X shirt or take off the Laker hat, but you're not going to have both.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I said, okay. And I just took off the Laker hat. Right.
Okay.
Because I'm wearing the Hilfiger.
Yeah.
I got Malcolm on. I mean, it's 91. It's November 91. I'm in 11th grade.
Yeah.
I go there and people are talking about Strictly Business. Okay. And they're talking about how they'd seen it, on the Friday or Saturday before. And that's what they're discussing, right? They're discussing Strictly Business. And they're saying the girl from Strictly Business. And I'm like, girl from Strictly Business. Like, so I'd heard the ads on the radio, but I hadn't seen a commercial. And I wasn't like I watched BET, but it wasn't like the TV was only on BET. You know what I mean?
Right,
we were switching around. A lot of Comedy Central though. Like we were always on Comedy Central, but short attention span theater. But so I'm saying all that to say I'm landing this plane saying I kind of knew from radio, and then there were like probably ads in the Jet magazine. I call it the Jet for Jeff Bennett in the Jet. So there were ads in Jet, but I didn't have a real understanding until the viral marketing of having my peers say, hey, this is something to go watch. And the only other time I remember that happening in that year was with Boys in the Hood. Okay. Yeah. So it happened a few months earlier for me with Boys in the Hood, because that's also 91. And but I didn't see that until it was on video cassette, because I was not allowed to go to the theater because there was so many things happening in the theaters surrounding Boys in the Hood. But so Strictly Business to me was really became a real thing when people from Jack and Jill were talking about it, and they were all talking about that new girl. They didn't know her name. They couldn't say her name. They didn't know her name. Yeah. And then that girl from Strictly Business, and who we know as the Mecca Queen. I'm taking that from Uptown Unplugged.
hey, we'll circle back to that.
The Mecca Queen of Soul, the Mecca Queen, Halle Berry.
Halle Berry.
How about you?
So 1991. I was a little younger. We all know. I
Yeah.
was in
You're
7th grade.
4 years younger than me. Yeah.
7th grade at Camp
That's
Creek
a good
Middle School.
that's a good time though. Seventh
It's
grade's a good
well,
time to it can
it
be.
is. It's a good time for some things. I'll tell you that.
True. Some
It's a good time
things.
to discover somebody like Halle Berry. But
True. I think 49 is a good time to discover that.
That's
as well.
fair. But yeah, so 7th grade, and two major things stand out to me. Number one,
Mhm.
my father, rest in peace, Ralph from Ben Hill, C. Miles Smith. He was on
Rest
the
in peace.
radio,
Mhm.
WGST,
Yep.
and they would frequently get promotional products, but especially if it was something black, since he was
Sure.
on the station with Neil Bortz and all those guys who didn't care
Yeah.
anything about, well, they cared a lot about Halle, if you want to be honest, but didn't care about strictly business, as it were.
No.
All the promo stuff was shunted to my dad, and so we had like 8 T-shirts with Strictly Business on it, and I didn't know what Strictly Business
what it was. Right.
was, what I mean? But
Right.
like, if it was a free T-shirt, free swag, my dad had it, and we would have it as a result. So, we had that. The other thing that stands out to me is this was the era where we had gotten a subscription to YSB magazine, and I want to say,
YSB.
I
Yes,
want to say it was my man, my frat brother, James Goodwill Pierre, who signed us up for YSB. He was like my mentor. He went to Morehouse and then transferred to Georgia State. I don't know his whole story, but the long and short of it was, like, he used to, like, hang out with us and like be kind of a mentor to us, me and my sisters, take us out and hang out and do all sorts of stuff. And I got my first Wu-Tang CD hanging out with him. So at any rate, he said he signed us up for YSB, and YSB had tons of ads for everything, but especially Strictly Business. Like, they pumped Strictly Business up like no other. So I imagine that a lot of your Jack and Jill cohort probably had subscriptions to YSB.
I did too, and it would probably just, I wasn't even paying attention. But go ahead, yeah.
But like, it's crazy because like my favorite YSB memory, and I think I've talked about this before on the Open Tabs podcast at one point or another, was how when our subscription was running out, they were very aggressive in their marketing towards us to say, hey, you're letting down the black race if you don't resubscribe.
Jeez.
I mean, it was real heavy-handed, like, you need to subscribe, it's like 8 black folks is writing for us and yada yada, this, that, and other. It probably wasn't exactly like that, but that's how I felt.
YSB might have been in 3 rooms for all we know. You know what I mean? It might have been,
it might have been like, it might have been like the Tiger, man. It might have been like, some committed folks.
Yeah. With a word processor and whatever they were doing layout on at the time. But
making it happen.
Yeah. But they had beautiful, it was, full color, and they had beautiful photos and great interviews. Young Sisters and Brothers, man.
Yes, indeed, man. Some good commercials, like they would pump up a lot of, like, Strictly Business was one of the things they pumped up a lot. They pumped up Mint Condition. I remember I heard of Mint Condition from YSB. I was like, this group Mint Condition, I've never heard a song they have.
Yes.
But and then when I finally did hear them, I was like, yeah, okay, this is the jam. This is my, this is right up my alley. But yeah, so that was my gateway into Strictly Business. That was what made me aware. I didn't know at the time, Halle, this is her second film. First film was and she had been acting in TV before that, but her first film was one that we loved, Jungle Fever, of course. This came out shortly after, like same year. And this was sandwiched with what came after this? One other film came after this before her huge breakout. One other film came after this before her huge breakout in Boomerang. There was something else that she made. Can you recall?
Jungle Fever.
Yeah, Jungle Fever was first. Last Boy Scout.
Oh, the Last Boy Scout. Yeah. Was that 91 or
that was 91? That was 91.
She had a heck of it. She was blazing in 91.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She came out like boom, boom,
nothing,
boom, boom.
Nothing more than 5 to 8 to 10 minutes on screen in those two. But but obviously she was, in 3 very different roles. Because when did Last Boy Scout? When was Last Boy Scout?
So Last Boy Scout was released on December 13th, 1991.
Gee, she was flying through that one.
Man, her agent.
Her agent needs a shout out. for
Yeah,
that one.
man. Yeah.
Whoever Benny Medina, I can't remember who she was with, but wow.
Yeah, man.
I'll put it this way. Given those three films were very, very different, obviously, and
Uh-huh.
she had the guts. I'm sorry if I'm stepping on what you were going to
No,
say.
no,
I
go. Hey,
apologize.
hey, we flowing from
But
the survival scrolls.
thank you, thank you. She had the guts to really strip it all down.
Oh yeah.
Being a former Miss Ohio,
Hmm.
strip it all down for Jungle Fever, and
Hmm.
um, and then glam it up for really Strictly Business, and the short amount of time, because she's a stripper essentially
Yeah.
in
And Last Boy
the
Scout.
Last Boy Scout,
Yeah.
or she's stripping at the
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
in the Last Boy Scout. It was kind of like the vanity role.
And
As a
Action
little bit
Jackson.
in Action Jackson, a little bit. It's very similar,
Yes.
to that. But those are three very different roles
Yeah.
for her in a very short period of time, and at least two of the films were critically acclaimed.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
was not. This one was not, but it got a thumbs up from Raj. So,
And that's all that
but
matters.
that's all that matters. I think all three of the films got a thumbs up from Raj, actually. But or maybe I don't think he liked. I don't think he liked. He didn't like Jungle Fever. Cisco liked Jungle Fever,
Huh.
but he didn't like. I watched a bunch of them last night.
They
But
are on YouTube. It is
that's where
fantastic.
I fell down. Funny you say that. I also watch an NBA action. It's fantastic. I just watched the ads.
Yes.
I watched 30 minutes of NBA action. It's fantastic ads. They are
Mm.
30 seconds each, just to get your mind right about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
yeah, wild. Yeah, wild. Anyway.
It's a good time in advertising.
Oh, great. It's perfect. And then they changed it. I love this game. It's like, why would you why change this?
No,
Why change? And then she will come back to it's fantastic, by the way. But anyway, to your point, she had a heck of a 91. She was rolling.
Mhm.
But she wasn't a household name at all. Because
No.
let's be honest, Jungle Fever is an art house film.
Yeah.
And a black film.
Mhm.
And an art house film. The biggest film she probably was in was Last Boy Scout.
Yeah.
The biggest of those three. I'm pretty sure from a box office perspective was
Sure.
Last Boy Scout. But
Sure.
this was her star turn. But
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. She became it was like that moment where somebody is just about to break out.
Mhm.
And you know it, everybody knows that she has that factor. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, of all the people in this film, and we should probably talk about that. So
I wonder if she was going to be in like White Men Can't Jump, if she was up for White Men Can't Jump, or if she was up for. I wonder what else she was up for.
I'm sure she was in some of those auditions. She had to have been.
She had to have been, or was she up
Yeah.
for? I mean, there were 600 pieces,
I would have
600 roles in Malcolm X.
Yeah.
600 roles in Malcolm X.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
she could have definitely played one of Elijah's secretaries that he later sired, a child with. Because I mean, he only had like models. It was Ray Dow and Veronica Webb.
Yeah.
I mean, she
And
could
she
have
was in that circuit.
She could have just as soon done that, but she was probably
Yeah.
doing these,
Yeah.
and so she couldn't switch up, and she wasn't available. That's my guess.
Man, shout out to Spike real quick, man, because like, you think about my own personal pantheon, a lot of them got their starts in Spike movies.
Well, I mean,
Teresa
who else was going to get? Yeah. Yes. I think this conversation is taking us to a place where we're going to have to do Jungle Fever soon. I really do.
I'm down for it. Hey,
yes.
look.
Even though, because that clip, I've watched that clip like 3 times in the last, the War Council, as they call it, with all the women around the room, which was just let the camera go and watch these amazing actresses work.
That's a great segue. Let's talk real quick about the little things in this film.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, the little things were the actors that were on the verge in 1991, and who made it and who didn't, and who was, and because they had a similar little round table. It wasn't exactly the War Council, because these women were the opposite of that, with Anne Marie Johnson.
God bless her. God bless her.
Kim Coles.
God bless her. And then the other one who was beautiful. And the other one
Annie
was
Golden.
beautiful.
Yeah.
God bless Annie Golden as well. Yes.
So, like, you think about any one of these actresses, and Kim Coles had a pretty substantial part in this film.
Oh, yeah, she did.
and you have to wonder, like, like she was a moment away. Like, she had Sinclair on Living Single,
She was a
you
couple
know,
years from that though. She was a couple, but she was on
in
Living
Living
Color
Color.
in Living
Yeah,
Color at that point. Still, yeah.
yeah.
And
Like,
she was the pretty one.
right. That's
That's
wow.
yeah, she was the pretty one. Yeah,
So, she didn't, but she didn't get it. Tommy Davidson, always on the verge, man.
never, never.
Never
I
get
mean,
it.
and what's wild is I don't think he carried. He only carried this film. He carried this film. Let me, with all due respect,
Yeah.
this is if there's a male lead in the film, it's not Joseph C. Phillips.
No, not at all.
It is definitely Tommy Davidson. That's how I feel anyway.
Correct.
I'm not willing to die on a hill, but I'll argue the points. But I really feel it's his story.
Yeah.
But and then the next time he gets kind of an opportunity to lead a film, it's not for another 6 years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when he does, Jamie Foxx is a tsunami.
Yeah, it steals the show again.
It blows him off the screen.
Yeah.
And so he just in this film he had great lines.
He did.
But he was a complicated character too. But he had great, which goes to why some of these things are rated so poorly about this film, the writing,
Sure.
the story, and things like that. But the character of Bobby, I thought Tommy, to your point, if he could have gotten more roles like this, I think he could have done an amazing. I think he could have had a different kind of career. But the thing is, what movies were they making? Like, where are you putting? Is he in the Martin role in Boomerang? No, because
that's exactly it. They're fighting for the same roles everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
He gets relegated to guest spots on, like Martin and all those kind of things.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
exactly. Yeah, which is classic, and we love it, and it's great, and all those things. But that a career does not make.
Right.
And it's just wild how you come off that big show, the big variety show, and you can't. It's like the SNL kids that. It's like Kenan. He had the huge success. Then he's come back. He's come back to SNL.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of, or like Tim Meadows on there forever.
Yeah.
And just, did little things. But yeah, I don't know what you put him in, because I think Martin then ran it after that.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just part of the Wayans coterie, but then the younger Wayans were coming up. And he's not in Low Down Dirty Shame, he's not in, what I'm saying? It's weird. Like, he's not even in like the Scary Movie a little couple years later. It's weird. Like, I think he just made decisions. He probably just made decisions like, it's not happening. I can always go to a comedy club and kill it and make a wonderful, make a wonderful living doing this.
Yeah.
And I don't have to worry.
Hilarious on stand-up.
Absolutely. So I think that's what it's weird.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, what do you he's going up against Martin, he's losing.
Yeah.
And he might have beaten Martin for this. But
he very well may have.
He very well may have beaten Martin for this, but Martin then chooses to do the other film, which comes out 8 months later.
And blows up. It's still making $100 million
films
movies to this day.
Right to this day. And so I mean, but he continued to make, he was into The Right Thing, Talking Dirty After Dark, that was his film, but it didn't really go anywhere. But still was, and the house parties and all that, he was making good decisions.
Yeah, he was.
And so they probably offered Tommy Davidson House Party 3. Yeah. But by that time Martin wasn't even in it.
Yeah.
And they had the kid from the real world in there. So David. David, I think.
David Edwards. Yeah.
Yeah, David. So it's like Stinky. So
him and
it's
Tammy
like
Romaine.
Yeah, Tammy. Oh Lord, that right. So it's just kind of interesting to your point on the people on the verge.
Yeah.
If you think about it too, Joseph C. Phillips was another one.
Yeah.
This was like the. I mean, this comes out in 91. Cosby Show ends in 92.
Yeah, he has the official Cosby Show alley-oop.
He did. I mean, he does guest spots here and there, and he's an interesting person. He's a writer. He's been in radio. He's done a lot of things.
Professor. Yeah, he's done well for himself. He's not.
He does. But he has. But then he's just like a square in real life as well. So it's kind of like, where is he going to fit? He's not Denzel. He's not Wesley.
Yeah.
He's not Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
He's not
Yeah.
even Malcolm Jamal Warner. He's not. Where does he fit?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So who does that leave? So
Yeah.
to your point about Kim Coles, was she going to be Halle Berry? Never. She
No.
wasn't going to be Halle Berry
No.
because. But it's like, and who was Anne Marie Johnson ever going to be? Like, it's like she
Yeah.
never. It was
She
like
never.
Black Famous.
Yeah.
It's like it never break through. I remember she was on Models Inc.
Mm-hmm.
or Melrose Place. It was one of those two, Models Inc. or
Mm-hmm.
Melrose Place on Fox. And I was like, oh man, look, she's going to break through. And it just didn't really ever happen. And it never
No.
really happened. It's kind of weird. Like we know her,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we know these people, but
Yeah.
it's so interesting. But look who did break through.
Yeah. There's one more.
Your
There's
dad's
one-
running buddy. Your dad's running buddy down there. Look who did break through.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm saying,
that-
of course. Of
yeah,
course.
you know,
Of
I mean,
course, Sam. I mean, Sam.
putting food on the table.
Oh yeah.
by,
Sam
by
was
doing
working.
2 days of work on this film.
Oh yeah. And
Yeah.
killing it. And still in the show.
Yeah.
Every time he's on screen, he commands his presence is commanding.
Yeah. Joe Torre is also one of the guys.
Joe Torre, like
Yeah.
but there's one other person, Joe, who was Oscar
Oh yeah,
nominated
yeah.
in this film.
I know who you're gonna go. I'm gonna let you. You got it.
No. Hey,
No. You got it.
So my man Sam Rockwell,
The Oscar winner. One of the two Oscar winners in this film.
crazy. Like, I mean, it just goes to show, like, and he's playing the Michael Rappaport part, essentially.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's got the chain over the tie.
No, I mean, I think that was a choice. I think that was him.
It absolutely was a choice.
And then they do the Wall Street thing when they kick him out of the car.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Just, like, who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen in Hollywood, man?
Yeah, Sam Rockwell. Yeah.
Just wow, man. So at any rate, man, what little things stand out to you in this movie, man?
Well, you mentioned I love what you just said about that because there were so many people like on the verge. And anytime you look at any of these films, right? You look at any of these films at all. I watched The Fugitive the other day, and I forgot how many people were in that movie.
Yes.
It's the same like Jane Krakowski, Jane Litch is in The Fugitive. There's all types of other people in the future. Like, oh my gosh, they're the you look at these movies from these time periods, 91, 92, 93, 94, any of those, and you say, gosh, look who was in the movies, right? And so that's a big thing that you said. People that were on the verge or they were just about to make it happen. It didn't work out. It's authentically 1991, not 89, not 90, but authentically 91.
Yeah.
Where stores such as Merry-Go-Round, things from or a place called Z Cavarici,
yes,
and any kind
Jeans
of rayon style,
yes,
was definitely in vogue. I mean, it was everything. So I love the fashion. I love the free-spirited New York of 1991. I love this. Another little thing for me about the film is me. I like to say, like, how long is the story? How long does the story take? Right?
Yeah.
So we open, the whole thing opens with Bobby waking up, and his mom is running illegal daycare in the house.
Sure.
And he goes off to work, and the same days at work, he's meeting with the Chinese investor. Wayman's meeting with the Chinese investors. And then he's going to have the new numbers to them because they want longer projections other than the standard number. They're trying to do a bigger thing. Horrible actors, by the way, in that scene. I don't know if you watched it, but we will need 20-year projections. But he didn't in any way look as though it's like he's Chinese. These guys speak English. Like I don't know why. And he was speaking English, but it's like, come on, this was bad. But I love the world they were building, to show like him there in the place, and they really set it up nicely. It was very, and for Kevin Hooks, and I know it wasn't his first film, but I'm gonna tell you, he really set that up nicely. It was really set up nicely. But I love that it was authentically 91. I love you showed me the business, right, and all that. But I think the whole story is like a week. I think it's something like Tuesday to Monday. I think it's Monday to Monday. I think the whole story takes a week.
It's 1 week.
Yeah. So do I think all these things could happen in a week? Never. Okay? Never. Yeah. But I do like how positive it was, how you never felt like it was a New York that was kind of mythologized and fantasized in like 50s guy meets girl comedies.
Yeah.
And it was like the rest of the world didn't matter around them because
Yeah.
all they were concerned with was just meeting each other and falling for each other,
Sure.
you know? And I really liked that that was one of the little things I really liked about the film. The music is amazing.
Yes.
And also the story, like you mentioned, you said it's 83 minutes. And look, it's like Fast Times at Ridgemont High is 90 minutes. They did a school year in 90 minutes. A school year. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about 9 months, everything gets about 6-7 minutes. Every month gets about 6-7 minutes. If you think about it, right?
Yeah,
At the
Mr.
most
Hand.
8. Yeah, Mr. Hand, right? Mr. Vargas. But the point being, this is 83 minutes.
Yeah.
Could it have been better at 85? Maybe. Could it have been better at 90? Maybe so. I don't know.
Could have had a little bit more. We'll get to it, but yeah, I agree.
But 90, I think 83 is a perfect thing. So that's one, to me, that's another one of the little things.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You make a great point there. I want to circle back to the point that you made about like the fact that New York, this is the Mayor Dinkins era, if I'm correct. I believe that was
he
Mayor
was
Dinkins,
still mayor. He had just been elected.
Yeah, Mr. Dinkins, will you be my mayor?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, he just been elected. Yes.
So like they hit on New York at a perfect time. New York was not like how it was then before or after. It was too seedy. It was the taxi driver like that, the real seedy version of New York. And then it became the Times Square New York. You know what I mean? But this New York here, where hip hop was born, you can feel that. When they had that scene when they go to Harlem, and he's like, "We going to Harlem?" They pass the Apollo, right. And like, is this
one of those
crack alleys? Right.
Right.
But like going to a little club in the hole in the wall joint, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then getting in there, like I can recall, like 97 DC. You know what I mean? You can. I'm sure
brother.
You walk into a spot.
There by the grace of God go we.
You walk into a spot and it's jumping like how it was jumping in there, man.
Yeah,
like
it was
multi levels. You're walking down one step and then you make a turn and then all of a sudden you're walking up some more steps and it's just wow, man.
And I had no business in those places, but yes.
but it hit on that. Like that was something that was uniquely 90s.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
they captured it beautifully.
They captured it beautifully. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You talked about music, man. Let's talk about the music real quick because one of the producers of the film, which I didn't know until I started doing my research and homework, was Andre Harrell.
Yeah.
And I mean, it explains a lot about the soundtrack.
It does.
So like Uptown, this is the time when Uptown was on the rise.
Hey, man. Yeah.
And he found a way to get his guys front and center for a little bit.
He did. And Jodeci, Jodeci's there and others.
Yeah.
I posted this song the other day. And I can't, of course, now that I'm saying it, I can't think of it. I know you'll know the name of it, but it was supposedly the first New Jack Swing song. It's the song. It's the main song from Strictly Business. It's the one that plays at the end.
Fly Guy.
No. Strictly Business 1991 soundtrack. I'll know it when I see it. But I posted the video the other day.
Okay.
Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. What is it? Where is this song? How can I not think of this song? I can't believe
the Jeff Red song.
No, it wasn't the Jeff. Maybe it was. I don't know. Oh yeah, Jeff Red. You called and told me. Yes, you called and told me.
Yeah. Okay,
yes.
Okay.
Yes. So apparently, it is the first, quote unquote, maybe first crossover New Jack Swing. You called and told me, right? That was the jam.
Okay.
In my opinion, from the soundtrack,
it was dope.
Yeah. Now the soundtrack also brought us "You Remind Me" from Mary J. How to Flow from Nice and Smooth, Lock It, Rare Essence, Little Heavy D and the Boys, Fat Rat from Puba, Let's Fly from Jodeci, and then Shining Star from Leaders of the New School, and then Stephanie Mills, I Just Want Love. But at the same time, the music was right on time. Like even if you didn't really, you're vibing to it. And what it did, I think what it did, and it took a Spike angle with us, right? But what it did was, it was like, this is hip, this is now, this is new. The music is seamless. and in a very sonic sense, the music is another part of another layer of the film
Yeah.
that is authentically 1991, authentically in the time period,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so the music in the club would be something they're playing in the club, but hey, it's also our score. It's also our soundtrack. So it's all working together.
Yeah.
I think with that as well.
Well, yeah, and this reminds me. You talk about social media. We had a brief discussion about something that was going viral. How they had the different marketing campaigns for films, where they had the soundtrack marketing versus the movie marketing.
Right.
And somebody posted that the soundtrack marketing for Boys in the Hood,
Yeah.
and they didn't quite understand. They thought it was like like they were trying to jazz it up and make it like kind of not what it was, but that's not. It was the soundtrack for
you're trying to make extra money. You're trying to make money that you may never go see the movie, but you might buy that tape or CD.
And so it started with this era, like Boys in the Hood, Strictly Business. Like this is when you started to.
And really... Spike was selling those soundtracks. Spike was selling from School Days on, really from She's Gotta Have It On. He was selling those, but they really marketed. They marketed the Jungle Fever soundtrack. They marketed. Sure. Do the Right Thing soundtrack, and Mo' Better Blues, of course, and so on, and so on and so forth. So it's not at all, if you think about it, it's not at all surprising that was part of it. But this was also hot music,
right? And see the difference between so School Days had a mix of artists. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
like the Jungle Fever, or like the
Jungle Fever was a concept album.
That was a concept album for Stevie. You know what I mean? Like you had Prince doing the concept album for Batman
and Girl 6
Six.
Later, Girls. But it started with to your point, yes, Batman. Right. It wasn't really a soundtrack. It was more like
music inspired by the film.
Exactly.
Film, yeah. And then it wasn't really until Jay-Z came back and did the music inspired by American Gangster. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like where it kind of came full circle, and people were like, well, this ain't no soundtrack. But like really, if you think about it, and it wasn't. But it was in the purest sense, right? That he watched the film, that he made the songs. Yes.
And so they're influenced by these plot line and the story in the film.
So my theory that I'm positing is that what started with Strictly Business ended with that Jay-Z album. That was the last real.
And before it, a year before that, was Hustle and Flow. Which
was the peak of.
Yeah, which had that.
Yeah.
Had that in it, and it literally won the Oscar. For Best Original Song, because
shout out to Memphis 901.
Yes, because it was literally about the song was literally about the film. Hard Out Here for a Pimp. Whoop That Trick probably should have. I would. That was the one.
We went crazy in the movie theater. It was wild. It was a great day to be in Nashville.
And it's interesting. It's interesting you say that, right? Because we're in the 25-year anniversary of probably one of the most glorious movie summers in history in 1999.
Oh yeah.
And one of the movies that had one of the best soundtracks that summer is Bigger, Longer, Uncut. South Park, Bigger, Longer, Uncut, right? And it was nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah,
for Bland Canada, but really, it should have probably been What Would Brian Boitano Do?
Yes, it should have.
Or Uncle Fucker, or Uncle Fucker,
or even Kyle's mom.
Yeah, Kyle's mom. Yeah, one of those, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So,
and we were to your point, we were in the Maroon Tiger office singing these songs, like
all of them, all of them. But Bland Canada was probably more encapsulated.
Yeah,
particularly the I can't remember the medley now. I want this beach up out of me. It is much as my vocabulary. I don't know what I had for lunch yesterday, but I can sing that. That was What Would Brian Boitano Do, the full version. That was the full version of What Would Brian Boitano. That should have been up for an Oscar, because that told the entire. It was like an aria in an opera. It told the story.
Yes. Yes. But you're right, man. Like, soundtracks.
Donkey dick.
And by the way, guys, you can listen to our Bigger, Longer, Uncut. We did that, right?
We did. I think we have done
it. It's deep in the archives. Deep in the archives.
Deep undercover. Deep undercover.
Yeah, man. But yeah, man, that soundtrack was banging, man. And like I said, man, they had the moment with Jodeci. Shout out to, I believe it was KC wearing the Morehouse sweatshirt. You know what I mean?
Devontae's all up in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jodeci. Uh, yeah, played a song I did not know, but they
Yeah.
were in there. They're at the club.
Yeah.
But
Now,
at the same club where the Hollering Brothers in the there's a lot going on. Like
there's a lot. I'm telling that's Joe. That's the thing about that club, man.
Isaiah Washington is in that scene too.
He is also in that scene. Like
Yeah,
it is a lot going on. And like, you see
another
Halle,
Spike alone. Yeah,
and she's dancing, you know what I mean? She got like she getting the sandwich going on. Like
that was a different. That was a different. That was a different
club. You're right.
That was a different club. But I'm with you.
That was that's right. The Halloran Brothers Club was the one where they go into
Jodeci is playing.
Right.
Yes, Jodeci is playing. Right. Halloran Brothers are somehow in the back, quiet enough to have a conversation. Can
we talk about that?
I'm ready.
What were the Halloran Brothers talking about in that club, bro?
Making moves.
Like, but here's the thing, man. Old boy played himself so hard, man. Wayman.
Hey, homebros. Hey, let's talk about, okay. So who is Bobby? Bobby is some mystical guy who has a head for business, but went to junior college.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he got the associate's degree or not, but at least we went to junior college. So he's got a head for business because I don't know for sure if he knows how to do what Wayman does.
No.
But he has the drive.
Right.
So much so that he knows the guys probably the richest guys in Harlem.
Yeah. He
knows the most beautiful woman in Harlem.
Right.
He wears fly clothes.
Right.
I get it now though, right? So he works.
He's hustling.
He's hustling, right. So he's probably doing favors for people all over uptown.
Yeah.
And he gets into certain places and does certain things and XYZ, but he's got a hustle spirit.
Yeah, period. He got the gift for gab. You know what I mean? Like I see some skin, he go get it.
Yeah.
Hollering at her, come back with her. You know what I mean? Like
exactly. I mean, he's an interesting guy. So of course he'd know the Halloran Brothers. Now, what are they discussing? I have no idea. They're talking about making moves, but they make it seem like it's drug related, right?
Right.
So the first conversation makes it seem like it's drug related, but all of the Halloran Brothers have dressed up in suits.
Yeah.
And they're in the back of the club the same day that that Wayman and Bobby happened to go to this after hours quiet, kind of quiet spot where Jodeci's also playing on the main stage.
Sure.
And Devontae's in there, And so it's really interesting. It's a very interesting thing. And then you see Isaiah Washington. At first, I thought he was the first time I watched it, I thought he was trying to get him drunk to mess him up with Halle Berry. I think it was just I'm black. I want you to have a good time, black.
Right.
Man.
I recognize the square brother. I'm about to, yeah.
We're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
But at first I thought he was hating on him. And then and then to me, it looked like, oh, this is the evolution story as he's finding his blackness again.
Yeah, he did the Pygmalion. He kind of put him up on game real quick. Took him to play some pool. Got him right.
Hey, and Isaiah Washington, if he's never done anything else in his life, he's had at least 2 movies where he's played pool, and he's one of the coolest looking guys ever playing pool.
Yeah.
Okay, he did that there and Love Jones.
Exactly.
And he obviously pool is a part of his life.
Yeah, we don't need nothing else from Isaiah Washington. He cool with me. You know what I mean?
We really don't need anything from him. But
it's off the strength of those 2 things. Yes. And you can go do your other stuff, Isaiah. Cool.
I'm not concerned about that. I'm talking about this film right now. So
correct.
So, but to your point, I thought it was an interesting place.
Yeah.
And I don't know why the Halloran Brothers there on a Tuesday or Wednesday night. It was Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Monday
you really piecing it together. You really
because if you think about it, because he was supposed to have the projections on Wednesday.
Oh, that's right.
I told them they'd have them on Friday.
That's right, Joe. You're right. You own it. I mean, so here's why I'm gonna give Kevin Hooks his props, because a lesser writer, producer, director, whoever would have had them be like numbers men or gangsters of some sort. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and he never played that at all. He let the audience subvert in their own minds what they thought those guys were.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. And turn them into, into the plot twist at the end. that they were the bankers. You know what I mean? Like, but see, here's the other
Harlem,
rub.
the Harlem National Bank.
Here's the other rub to this, Joe. Is
Yeah.
it like for us in our areas, that's okay. We know brothers that's the CEOs that
Mhm.
also be at Sepia Soul kicking it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
might have been in a fight or two at Washington Park at a beer bash. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like
Yes.
just for real. Like, I mean, that's
Mhm.
how, like we get down. Like it's people that are highly successful in their
Mhm.
realms, but also can flip it and not be
Yeah.
a square, not be lame. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Right.
truly are like movers and shakers, but they also, they didn't lose that touch, which is, I think that if another director has his hands in this, if it's I don't know who used to make black movies that wasn't black. I can't think of anybody right now off the top
I
of my head.
can't either. I can't
But
think of it.
you know what I mean, though, like a Michael Campus, something
Yeah.
like that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they gonna have to have some kind of gangsterism about them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And then also the fact that like what we saw from Anne Marie Johnson when Bobby comes into the house and she immediately just is repulsed by him and calls him a thug and all these kind of things, man. Like,
Right. Right. Right.
we know that too. And
We do.
and like the fact that he was cool, he was rubbed wrong by it, but he didn't flip out on her, and then turned the joke on her, told her she could hula hoop a Cheerio and all this stuff
Hula Hoop
later, man.
Cheerio.
What was the other thing he said? It looked like something in a pencil in a sundress or something. Like he was tearing her up, man.
He was going off on her.
Yeah.
I like when he walked into the party, and they both went off on each. You get your da 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 da, and she was about to go off on him, and it was just kind of wild how they had great chemistry. They really did.
They did.
They had great chemistry, and it was funny. Obviously, they've gone back and forth, being Wayne's.
In that family,
being Wayans family, in the Wayans family comedy troupe. They I know they've done they've played the dozens, and they've gone at it, and I'm sure I'm sure the things he said to her in those situations,
sure,
it just rolled off the tongue.
Sure.
It's nothing new. I've been calling you that for 15 years. Like this isn't nothing new. So I thought that was great. With with the two of them as well. Actually, that was a funny part, but that's a funny thing too, because it came back up obviously at the club, and it was an interesting commentary on the black women that were again, one of the problems with the plot here, or the story, the black women who were actually in that corporate world as well. They're not seen in any positive light in this film. They're
not
seen
at all.
They're seen in an extreme. This is clearly written by a man, and we know it's directed by a man, but they're not seen in any kind of positive light. She's an attorney. She doesn't love him, but she thinks they'll make a great team. That doesn't make her necessarily bad. It makes her in my opinion, disingenuous maybe, but not necessarily bad. And then the others, they didn't ascribe to how she was trying to live her life. They were just questioning the whole thing. I love when Kim Cole said, "I need that," but the women in the black women they're in on the joke. I mean, they're just the flipped coin of Wayman, of Joseph C. Phillips' character. It's not. There's no real difference. I mean, you attract what you are, I guess, in many cases. So there's no real difference in that. And I think Natalie was just completely different than anything he'd ever seen in real life. And so he was just amazingly taken. So he meets her he sees her on Monday, and he meets her on Tuesday. And she gives him a kiss on the cheek, which I can actually buy that. I can buy that. I can buy that.
Me too.
Wednesday, he's working, and I think that's when they go out. And no. Thursday is when she's supposed to have another night at the club, and everything is Dennis Leary, the club owner.
Hey, shout out to Dennis Leary's cameo.
Shout out to Dennis Leary's cameo. His 2 hours on set. Then the club gets padlocked on Thursday, and all Bobby has to do is do the project, the new numbers on Friday,
Yeah.
and everything goes haywire Friday.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so he is fired by. So if you think about it, so Thursday, he goes out with her. They walk around this on the East River, and then, they consummate the relationship after having met her on Monday.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm guessing it's his apartment, but it kind of looks like her place. Which, if it is her place, it was awesome looking.
Yeah, she had a. Yeah, I think that was her flat.
I think it was hers. It was kind of like Tito from New Jack City.
Yeah.
And also Angela from Boomerang. It was a big place.
Yeah.
All wrapped into one.
Hey, if you know
And-
New York. Hey.
True. I mean, it was, and maybe Josh Baskin's place.
Yeah.
Down Alphabet City from Big. So, but it's really interesting because that happens on Thursday. Then Friday, Bobby messes it up, or he fires Bobby, and then in that same day, he goes up to Harlem and sees him. And we don't see the weekend. We don't see the worry. And then Monday comes, and the guys come in, and that's like the end of the story. So it's to your back to Kevin Hooks, to your point. I think it was done nimbly. I think it was directed in a nimble fashion, such that
great choices, great word choices.
We didn't have any overbearing storylines, really, and it was neatly done. We touch here, we touch here, we touch here, we touch here, we touch here. We do this, we do that, we do that, we do this. We don't really understand what they're doing. I thought they were building the first 5 times I watched, only in this time that I watched for this podcast did I realize they were buying an existing property
and flipping it.
Yes. Yeah. I did not. I thought they were building.
Yeah.
I thought there was a projection of the building, but no, they weren't. And I also love the colorblind nature of his boss and the banker.
Yeah.
They were just trying to we're just trying to make money, baby.
Hey, what's the title of the film? Strictly
Business.
Hey, that's what they were.
Well said. Well sustained.
1 a year. I get 1 a year.
Well said.
That's my one.
Well said.
That's my one, man. That's my one. But this is look, man. I don't know. Some people that are watching this may not have seen Strictly Business before. You know what I mean?
Sorry, really late in the.
Hey, look, check it out though. It's it's a good little. It's a black rom-com. Is what it is.
Yeah, it is.
What I mean?
But it's also a go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's a happy little joint. It has a happy ending. You know what I mean? Like, we need somebody on the internet a few months back was bemoaning the fact that we don't have blah blah blah. We've been having. Yeah, y'all ain't seen them.
Just saying, watch them. I mean, yeah, and I was gonna say, what's your favorite scene in the film?
My favorite scene in the film. Probably let me think. I know you're gonna ask this too.
Yes.
My favorite scene, probably, like, if I had to choose, because it's a compact little piece of film, but I think if I had to choose one, I'm probably gonna choose the not the party scene, but like when right before that whole scene where Bobby comes by. And they're having that party, they're mingling or whatever, and he disagrees with her, and she's like, "How dare you disagree with me in front of the company?" Or,
right,
like just that whole, like, where he finally gets it. Because I remember a point I was gonna make, because that was the scene here that reminds me of like the origins of Shelby and the Best Man.
It's
what I mean.
When I was watching it, I was like, "This is Malcolm Lee stole that." He stole that. Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
But no, I think so. With that being said, I think that
she is Shelby. She is the original.
Yes, yes. And the fact that, like, he has a decision to make. Basically, Bobby's looking at him like, I mean, you know what to do, and he does it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then
my favorite line. Go ahead. Go ahead. No, please.
No. You.
It's nonverbal. It's nonverbal. It's Kim Cole's doing this.
Yeah. Tell her to go. Exactly.
You better go.
And that's what made the scene for me. Yeah. So I think all things considered, and then I want to point out that he's driving that 528e BMW, and I feel like you had one at one point. Did you
No,
have a
I
green
had a 318. I had
528E?
a 318. I had
Okay, okay.
318.
I had a silver 528 at one point in time.
God bless. God bless the
Hey
five.
man, that
At five is some
those
grown man. At five is a
yeah,
grown man
hey,
driving, man.
it's hey man, that's what
At,
brought me into the BMW world, man. I
at
was like,
five
yo,
is a
this
grown
is
man
yeah, this.
driving there. At
But
five.
he hops in that, and Bobby has a car for an indefinite period of time after that.
This is true. This
But
is true.
I think that was my favorite scene.
I
What's
would
your
have
favorite
loved to have
scene?
seen what Bobby was doing with the car. Like that,
Yeah,
like if we go to 90 minutes and I can see Bobby driving all over Harlem doing
yeah,
things
yeah,
to be whoever Bobby is.
yeah. To see him making some of those connections, right?
Right.
That
That
would
would
have
have
been
been
nice.
that'd have been
Yeah,
great. Or
yeah,
even when to see the scene, which I'm sure is deleted, of him uh convincing the Hollering brothers to come
yeah,
to come up to the firm for
yeah,
this opportunity.
yeah,
Because they obviously trust him,
yeah, yeah,
and for good reason.
yeah.
My favorite scene. Okay, so there's a couple things. It's when she goes like this,
Uh
and she's like, "You get her, get your black out of here!" And then all you hear is scream. You hear the wheels go. But
Yeah,
also, even though it's a little odd, it's the redemption part. Well, I have two more. It's the redemption when he has to go to Harlem and reconnect with his blackness.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like it's
and
New
almost get
York. You
into
can
a
walk
fight
down any.
with
Yeah,
Smooth from Nice
yeah,
and
it was
Smooth.
for Smooth, right? What do you call it? Sidney Poitier. What do you
Yeah,
call him? Or Harry
yeah,
Belafonte, whatever you call him,
yeah.
Mr. Tibbs, whatever you call him.
You got him
But
sitting. You're in the wrong place, Sydney.
Sydney, you're right. You're in the wrong place, Sydney. Um, but the scene when he's walking around Harlem, like reconnecting with blackness.
Yeah.
The first time I was ever in Harlem in the daytime,
Uh-huh.
I was walking around like my eyes just were like bugging out. Like
As was
I'm
mine. Yeah.
I'm finally here. I am here.
Yeah.
This is like
This is home.
this is home. This is the cultural center of blackness
Yeah.
forever. With all due respect to Atlanta, of course,
Yeah.
but of black culture.
Yeah. Harlem.
This
Harlem
is
is a different
Harlem.
feeling.
This is it,
Yeah.
right? And so I think Joseph C. Phillips was really going through that. I
Yeah.
really do. And
Yeah.
this is like 91. This is
Yeah.
before it's been cleaned up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's been many iterations of Harlem,
Yeah.
but the one I saw in 2001 was a very clean version. Okay, in comparison compared to
Yeah.
this right here.
Yeah.
But I love that scene, and then the whole thing, because after it, he's like, "Hey man, black people, we got to trust each other. We got to believe in each other and trust each other." And here Bobby goes all soulful and introspective on you, and even when Sam Rockwell got the role, he's
Mm-hmm.
like, "Man, I can't even hate on you, man.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
do your thing." I'm not. He's like not a negative character. The only thing negative about him is he just doesn't take things seriously, certain things seriously, and he just expects things will happen for him
Yeah.
just because of his charm or his wit or his ability to do that. The other scene I love, and it's, I mean, God bless the Hudlins,
Mm-hmm.
okay, but Hallie essentially when he says something like when Wayman basically says, "I was chasing after you and so I messed up," something like that. They're supposed to have lunch,
Yeah.
and he
Yeah.
messes it up,
Yeah.
and she basically does the same thing that Angela later does with "Love Should Have Brought You Home Last Night." I mean,
Yeah.
she turns the same way.
Yeah.
It's the same energy and everything, but she shows us that it's Strictly Business. More of us saw it in Boomerang,
Yeah.
but she shows the chops and
Yeah.
the ability to do that there in the pink
Yeah.
suit. And
Looking good. Oh man.
of course. I mean, of course. In the pink suit. And that to me, that's my other favorite scene.
Yeah, no, you're right. Hey, look,
Yeah.
that was a great moment because she was so happy. She comes into the office like happy
I know.
to see him.
I know.
Like,
they just spent the
they
night
just
together.
consummated their relationship.
Exactly. And they're she's all super happy and everything.
Yeah.
And then he's just being himself.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are. Those are my favorite scenes.
Yeah, no, yeah, those are spot on. I feel you, Joe. I feel you. So trying to think, man.
Was there something you didn't like about it?
I mean, what did I not like about it? I tell you, it's not a whole lot to not like, except for the fact that it's like, I mean, it very much is. has that B movie quality to it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
Like
it's
low
very
budget.
it's very low budget, very B movie.
You know,
Very,
but I mean,
I want to
I,
see the box office. I want to see the budget in the box office.
seven. It made 7.7 million. I don't know
I
what the
doubt it was
box
a
office
two
was.
million. I doubt it was a $2 million. I doubt it was a $3 million picture.
Yeah, no, it couldn't have been. And I mean, you know, it is what it is in that regard. Like, you know, we were we were just happy to have movies in the theater where we could go to the dollar
Yeah,
theater at the bottom of Greenbrier or something, you know,
true, true.
and check out, you know, our people doing our thing, you know. So, like, I mean, your Jack and Jill people support it. You know what I mean?
They did. Well, that's what they do.
And then, and see, this is still also the time where you got to take these numbers with a grain of salt because you know I shop from the
Yeah,
mountaintops that
yeah.
I got a ticket for Dennis the Menace to see Malcolm X. You know what I mean? Like they were
right.
fudging our numbers a little bit. So
They were definitely doing that to us.
I don't know.
But I mean, I think that weekend, I wonder what it was up against because I think it was up against like Home Alone.
Well,
I'm gonna November 8th, 1991 movie releases.
yeah, that's that. Look that up, Joe.
Yeah, I think it was up against Home Alone.
Oh, that was a juggernaut.
Yeah, it was probably a bit of a an issue there.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. Okay, it wasn't.
What was it up against?
It wasn't up against that. So it was up against All I Want for Christmas, which I never heard of.
Oh.
And so when was Home Alone released? It must have been in December then.
Oh yeah. Okay. No. Okay. So here's what the Adams Family.
Yeah, but that was no, it wasn't. That wasn't until November.
Yeah. And that's November.
I mean December. Excuse me. From what I see, from what I'm looking at here. Oh, I didn't see the top of this thing.
Oh no. It was,
yeah.
okay. Release date.
Yeah,
November
that was
22nd.
November. Yeah, it was 22nd. So
Let's see what was released on November 8th.
Yeah, it might have won the
Christmas.
weekend. It should have won that weekend. It was 15th in the. It beat. All I Want for Christmas did 11 million. I mean, it's a family picture. It did 11 million, and it was on 2 times the screens. So it was only on 881 screens.
Okay.
You know, and
Okay.
so
but that's still pretty good.
Oh, that is strong. It was 15 in that month. It beat The Butcher's Wife.
Okay.
Which was all white, if you recall.
Yes.
Which doesn't make something a hit, but I'm just saying.
It's good to know the scope of what it was up against.
Yeah, the next week was Cape Fear.
Okay.
And Beauty and the Beast, which I mean,
well,
those two then dominated until the Adams Family came the week after that, which was smart.
MC Hammer.
Yeah, the Adams. And then My Girl was 5 days.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Gosh.
No, let's not talk about.
And My Girl was released the same day as Heart of Darkness, a filmmaker's Apocalypse. So enjoy that about the making of Apocalypse Now, which I finally watched for the first time fully through since 1993. Like I finally. Yes,
Joe, this is what we need to watch, the two of us, and then we can decide if we want to talk about it later.
Okay, what?
Bratz. Are you familiar with?
Oh yeah, I watched it, but I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready. No, but
of course you are.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'll watch it the second time, but I'm ready. But I was gonna say though, I think it did well for that. I think the other big looming thing that we have to discuss about this film is its legacy.
Okay, let's talk about it.
And I think it's sandwiched between, not sandwiched between, but there's Mo Money, which is blacks in a corporate world.
Okay.
Which really had nothing to do with this movie, but it kind of did because the guy's trying to get the girl, right? But it was a different guy trying to get a different kind of girl.
Okay.
And so it's like there's Mo Money, there's this, and then of course there's Boomerang. And if we're being honest, that TK, what was that movie that was shot in Atlanta?
Oh, Living Large.
Living Large.
Yeah.
It is corporate. It's corporate news. So it's but these are all around the same time. Yeah. Essentially.
Yeah.
And but the real front runners are Mo Money, Strictly Business, and Boomerang with that. Yeah. And so my question is the Strictly Business get lost in the sauce because 8 months later, the behemoth, I mean, this made what, $7 million, and Boomerang probably made $100 million or $80 million.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna look it up right now. Boomerang made. All right. Let's see. Domestic box office. Yeah. Domestic at the time. 131 worldwide. Okay. 70 domestic, 61 international. So it made 131. Compared to 70. I mean, the budget was bigger than the money. The budget was 20 or like 30 or something like that. And it made it back, right?
Yeah.
So, but do you think this one gets lost because of the enormity of Boomerang?
I think you hit the nail dead on the head. That's exactly what happened. You know what I mean? This had some room to kind of grow, or even if it was a different time period, it probably would be more remembered. I don't want to say fondly because I think people that do remember it think of it fondly, but I think it would be more remembered and more in the zeitgeist. But Boomerang definitely eclipsed it. You know what I mean? It definitely Boomerang. I mean, you had Eddie. You know what I mean? Like, and you had Eddie. Like Eddie was a monster in and of himself. Like,
right.
And so to your point, Joe, I think that certainly had an impact on how it's remembered, and yeah, I think that you can't think about what could have been without thinking about Boomerang.
Yeah, it's interesting too that obviously Halle's in both those films.
Yeah,
and not playing the same role. She's not playing the same role, but because she's the sought after siren the whole time in Strictly Business. I mean, and one thing I forgot to mention. Let's look. If you want to say A Star Is Born, let's be honest here. If you want to say this is what a star is, brother, they kind of did it in Last Boy Scout too.
Yeah.
In fact, it was a little later, but it was kind of like, but it was talked about her having a body double or something like that in Last Boy Scout. In this film, in that restaurant, she's walking in, and it's a slow pan up to her. She's wearing the colorful skirt, black top, up to her beautiful face, right? And she's giving the banker the message. That was like, this is a star. This is what a superstar looks like. This is a starlet. And we're showing you this. We have lightning in a daggone bottle, and we're gonna use it as much as we can in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Because she's beautiful. She eats up the screen. You can't not look at her. And the other thing we haven't talked about, the style, the haircut.
Oh yeah.
Forget the Rachel. Forget that. Forget the Rachel. The Halle Berry cut?
The Halle Berry was everything. We're gonna revisit this conversation we had right around the time of Boomerang, when we had our Boomerang talk. But there was a young lady in my class, in my 7th grade going into 8th grade year. She came back with the Halle Berry, and it was it, because she was already cute as hell at that point. Young Stacey Craig.
Yes,
she was the one, and then like she came back with the Halle Berry haircut, and it was over, because like she had the little nose like Halle and such too, man. Like it was just like, I'm telling you, man, like that Halle Berry cut, and then next thing you know, about 4 or 5 other girls gonna have the Halle Berry cut. Like
they're gonna do it.
Yeah, man. And then you go to Westlake to the Westlake preview day, and all the fly singers got the Halle Berry, man. Shoot.
When I was a senior, so this comes out in 91. She has the haircut in this film, but people really didn't see Strictly Business like that, right?
Right.
So, but Boomerang, her hair she has it, but it goes through phases. And in fact, in the very end, she doesn't have that cut.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. When she
varies it up. But I think we've conflated. Really, the look was more in this movie.
It was this movie. You're right, Joe.
It was this movie in because it was like shorter in Boomerang.
Yeah, you're right.
And different, in certain scenes, it was shorter in Boomerang.
But this is the one from like Essence and Ebony,
and
the Jet.
And the Jet, yes. So they
YSB.
They pushed this thing hard, man. Right. And even like the 92 Braves.
Yeah. Oh, shout out to David Justice.
David Justice, Halle Berry, the whole thing together, right?
Right.
It's all right. We can't get away from it.
No, man.
We can't get away from it. The haircut, And America loves the Braves.
What a time to be alive.
She's married to the handsome baseball player on the Braves.
Yeah,
I like the whole thing, and America knows the Braves because we all get TBS and cable.
yeah.
Like it's all
Superstation
working.
17.
17, baby, and it's all working. And then she's in these films, and it's like, daggone,
Yeah.
this is working out.
Yeah,
Halle
man.
Berry, and then the haircut, that haircut, in all sincerity, with all due respect, cemented her
Yeah.
as a black cultural icon.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
In ways that people dream of.
I agree.
I
Joe,
mean,
you are nailing it right now, brother. This is it. The haircut was that's what put her a notch above.
Exactly.
Like, that's what separated her from the Veronica Webbs,
who had a very similar type of thing, but never the volume. Correct. And to Veronica Webb's credit, she didn't even try. Like, that's Halle's.
No, yeah,
I'm gonna leave that alone.
But
they could have been interchangeable. In all sincerity, they're all dogs. They're all dogs, as she said in that film. And she's dating Spike at the time. Yeah. Oh, by the way, did you know there's like 4 videos from like music videos from the Jungle Fever soundtrack? No, from the Jungle Fever soundtrack. Jungle Fever soundtrack.
I did not.
There's a video for Jungle Fever.
Okay.
For Fun Day.
Okay.
And At Least Gotta Have You.
Huh. Did not know that. Well,
yes,
that's my YouTube rabbit hole for the night.
Enjoy. But I'm
gonna follow it up with Nothing But Love by Heavy D.
You got to.
It features.
You got to.
Say
everybody. Yeah, and
Beverly Peel.
Yeah. And watch the Vivo, the full one.
Oh, that's that Maxima girl.
And I said, I'm gonna talk to her. Rebecca Gayheart. And Chris, but you got to watch it all the way to the end when he's talking to Beverly Peel. And she's like, let's get on a plane. Let's just fly to Milan, or let's fly to. He said, let's go to the Bronx and get some hard-boiled eggs and salt and pepper.
Good old Dwight Myers.
And then she kisses him, and then she squeals. I said, okay, Ham.
In the house. Hey.
I said, okay, Ham.
Yes, man.
Yes. Oh, this is the 30th anniversary of that video too, which that's just that's a special video. That's a special video for me. For me. Leave it up to me. I closed the whole damn store on I got nothing but love for you. Nothing. Nothing but love. No, but back to this film. I think it was seminal, and I think it is overlooked because of the enormity of Boomerang. Mm-hmm. But without this, we don't. Maybe Halle's not even in Boomerang, and I don't think Boomerang works without Halle.
No,
and because it wouldn't be like Veronica Webb. Like I don't think she wouldn't have the presence. She's not an actress like that, and she wouldn't have the same presence.
No,
or Vivica Fox. It wouldn't work with Vivica Fox. Because I don't think they could have played the mousy. How Angela at first was mousy, and my boy Dorian says all her weird stuff, her weird stuff.
Yeah,
she brought all up in the market.
Yeah, Konnichiwa.
All that old weird stuff, right?
Yeah,
and I'm not even talking like Halle on A Different World. Ron Johnson with
good old Ron.
Ron Johnson with all
my man Ron Johnson
and love. You know what I'm saying? She was too good to be true on that. It was just too good to be true. Like it was never gonna. At least they could have given us like a 2-episode arc, bro.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Like
he probably took it to Wyvetta Soul Kitchen
and messed that up. But
man, not Renee's. If he took it to Renee's, it would have been.
Yeah, but Ray was gone. Renee was gone. Ray was gone by that time.
Ray was gone by that time. Yeah,
that's right. That's right. But no, but I think the lasting impact of the film is that she was the breakout star. Yeah. I think I don't know how long they last. That's the question I ask. How long does it last? I don't think it lasts long because they have nothing in common.
Sure.
And at all. Other than he's attracted to her. She's attracted to his, him, what he can do. Yeah. But he might have some prowess, for all we know.
Yeah.
And he plays squash and takes care of himself. So
Yeah.
so that or
And took it
racquetball.
to he got our club like Christopher got Adriana a club. So
He did the crazy horse. He got the crazy horse for her, you know, you know, and all that. But I really upon so I asked this classmate of mine from Howard. So when I had the Jeff Red song on Instagram, my Instagram story,
Mhm.
and then my classmate Danette, she said, "Hey, I love this song. You know, Strictly Business is my movie." And I was like, "Which is better, Strictly Business or Boomerang?" She's like, Strictly Business. So I was like, "You out your mind? Are you out of your mind?" Right? I'm thinking like, "You come on now." So she was basically saying how she liked the storyline better.
Okay.
Even then, she's like a year younger than me, so she'd have graduated in '94. So I graduated in '93.
Mhm.
So, but she was saying even at 16, 15, 16, when the movie came out, she liked the storyline better because Joseph C. Phillips was like Wayman was a good guy. He was just out of touch with his identity, or his
Sure.
identity was just all over the place. But he was essentially a good guy. Bobby was a good guy, right? But he was just a
Yeah.
hustler
Yeah. Yeah.
who'd rather hustle than work in many
I'm
cases.
with her so far.
And then Hallie, I was like, well, where does Hallie fit in there? It's like Hallie's just beautiful. You know, Hallie was just Hallie, right? But then I was like, okay, but I said, but Marcus Graham was the coolest.
Yeah.
Had the clothes, had the apartment, had the career, had the girls, you know, and everything. And she's like, well, looking at it from your perspective, I can see that. You know, that's something that you think is important. And she was saying, from my perspective, you know, the Joseph C. Phillips character would have been a more appealing option moving forward
Okay.
because he was probably a little more stable, essentially, and she thought the story was far more rewarding because of he reconnected with his identity, his racial identity, and which he could always meet another person, but another woman, but the reconnecting with the racial identity was extremely important. So she ranked it higher in her estimation because of that.
No.
And I was like, okay, I can see that, but I still, of course, feel that Boomerang is one of the finest films ever made.
And my counter to her would have been the whole shopping scene, where Marcus Graham.
Well, that's where the B movie part comes in.
Sure, sure,
Because if
sure.
you look at the two shopping scenes, one is brilliant and one is camp.
Yeah.
One is the same as Class Act when they're
Right.
trying on the clothes. And how does Brooks Brothers keep catching strays? That and Class Act.
I blame Carlton Banks on Fresh Prince.
I guess
Yeah.
so. The Brooks Brothers, the Brothers Brooks. They say that Class Act.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And then he said, "This is a Brooks Brothers suit."
Just a great suit to me.
Like
You put it on the front.
Put it on the front. Right, as he's like walking through New York in like a Lakers leather Lakers Lakers coat, like,
8-ball jacket.
Yeah, 8-ball jacket. Like, how do you afford this? He's wearing it on the jacket cover behind me, of the jacket cover of a videotape, by the way.
Yeah. Yes. VHS.
Yeah, VHS.
For my uninitiated. Yes. Actually rewind. Be kind. Rewind.
Yeah, or unless you had a rewind machine.
Yeah. Like a little, when it was shaped like a car.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we're too lazy to rewind something ourselves.
Didn't want to incur those charges from Blockbuster.
No, you didn't. You didn't. Anything else to share about this wonderful film?
No, man. I just encourage people, if you haven't seen it, man, check it out. And if you haven't seen it in a while, revisit it. You know what I mean? It's a good little 83 minutes that you won't feel bad about. There's some other things you can watch to feel like, oh man, let me get that 83 minutes back.
Right.
You're not gonna feel that way about Strictly Business. It's a good little jaunt.
Agreed.
If your lady wants to watch a rom-com, you got that aspect of it. You know what I mean? It's the whole shebang.
Agreed.
I give it 2 thumbs up.
So
or like Chicago Jones and what did they do in Hollywood Shuffle, Joe? What did they do?
That was a great movie.
That was a great movie, man.
They were giving thumbs up. They were giving thumbs up.
They were giving thumbs up. Okay. Fair enough.
I could see how that would happen. You know what I'm saying? I could see. Sneaking in the movies.
Yes, sir. Attack of the Killer Pimps, baby. Well, Joe,
Where's my bitches?
where's my bitches?
Yeah.
I ain't be got no weapon.
I ain't be got no weapon. Rich, Roger
Hey man,
Townsend is insane.
I
Townsend
had
is
a movie
crazy.
night of Hollywood Shuffle here. I have it on the Criterion Collection.
Is what you should. Is what you should.
It's you know it's
Hey,
great.
hey, shout out! So School Days is on Criterion Collection, the channel this month.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Which I'm really hoping that means
Oh yeah. I mean, you know,
the
Spike is a friend of the Criterion Collection.
I know, but like, let's throw it on the bar. Put a shrimp on the Barbie, man. Let's do it. You know what I mean?
So
I
he
don't know
has
if
to get some of his movies out of pocket from that one company that has this one company owns the movie rights to like Jungle Fever and Mo Better and School Days, and it just
Okay.
will not relinquish them.
Got it.
But if they do, you know they're going straight on Criterion. Like
Yep.
I think much like now Martin Scorsese's joints, all of them, like Mean Streets is now being released on there, After Hours, which I own, Age of Innocence, all of those now are on the Criterion Collection. So
Interesting.
give it some time. Give it some time, you know, and
Yeah.
if that happens, you know what I mean? Like, hey, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Give me time to realize my crime. Give me time.
Oh boy, there it is, Fanina and Shay.
Speaking of 1984, to realize my crime. Speaking of 1984.
Joe, only you.
Do you really want to? Yes. Sorry.
Look, man.
Nobody's talking about Strictly Business, and then breaks into some culture club.
Boy George, Culture Club.
Some culture club. Yes. Yes.
Somehow, some way. Indeed,
Yes.
man. Well, it is a pleasure. We will be back. We have some movies on the docket we were considering and have watched.
I think we just need to keep swinging wide.
I need to revisit
bangers only.
Yeah, let's keep this going with some bangers. We'll have an offline conversation and we'll talk about what should be next. But until that time comes, we are going to be uploading this on YouTube. We'll be on Anchor. We'll be on the Spotify. We'll be on Apple Music, of course. Anywhere where you like to get a podcast, we are there. You can find us. We still there, and we're happy to have our long term. You know, happy to hear what Reese has to say. And
shout out to Reese.
Shout out to Reese. Yeah, indeed. This is my IV hydration.
Good.
Keeping it clean for the month of June. You know,
good.
At any rate, all right. So
happy Juneteenth. Happy
Juneteenth tomorrow. Juneteenth, baby.
Yeah, Juneteenth tomorrow.
We got the day off. We got the day off.
And I just want to say one other thing. And I didn't mention this before. Shout out to my Dallas Mavericks for a historic run. Our third NBA Finals and our least competitive one, but from the results. But our third NBA Finals. I'm very proud of that team.
And certain teams from Atlanta haven't been there, so
this is true. But nonetheless, very proud of the boys, and they made me an extremely proud Maverick. And so want to shout them out. They lost last night to the Boston Celtics. What's another championship to Boston? It doesn't really matter. What's another one to them? I don't know. But shout out to the Mavericks for a wonderful season, and congratulations to the world champion Boston Celtics.
Man, they'll be back, man. Hey, Luka, that guy has spider heart. He'll be back. He'll be back.
I look forward to it.
Yeah. And with that, we're gonna peace out. So until the next time, we'll see you guys.
Peace.